Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stellar Entrepreneur Show at womenlines.com. Yes, friends, today we are traveling to UK, London, and we are having one entrepreneur from there. She is an award-winning entrepreneur, thought leader, and mentor. She has spent 20 years working across the media, publishing, and advertising industries. Today, she is founder and CEO of Fem Foundry. Throughout her career, she has collaborated with thought leaders, brands, funds, and charitable organizations under one unifying purpose: to bring women together on a global scale, to drive and sustain meaningful connections and positive change for generations to come. Fem Foundry is the embodiment of this mission. I'm so excited because this topic is so close to my heart. Welcome, Amy Williams, to Womenlines Show.
Oh, thank you so much, Tara. It's a pleasure to be here. Delighted to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your time, Amy. So yes, I'm so eager to know. Please share about yourself and about your business and about yourself as a person. We are eager to know about it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me again. Yeah, so I'm Amy, as Tara said. I have spent far too long in media and advertising. So I started my career in selling magazines, effectively women's magazines, back when print and those things that we used to have that glorified hour apparently to sit and read, that we don't have now, sadly. And yeah, so I've spent a long time in the women's industry and marketplace, and then I pivoted into startup and into tech. So I grew up in a place in the UK called Yorkshire, so in the north, which you'll probably hear slightly in my accent. And my dad was a self-made businessman and entrepreneur, and was always trying to get me to follow his footsteps. And I was, very into sport as a kid, and was like, no, I want to go into sports physio. And then he convinced me to work for him for a year when I finished my degree. And I realized that annoyingly, he was right. And I was quite entrepreneurial, and that I did love sales, and that I was sort of meant for that. He was in industrial cleaning, so that was not glamorous. So I decided to go to London, to a much more glamorous world of media. And then, as I say, fast forward 20 years, and I pivoted into tech. Me personally, I had my own real journey, and I'm always very transparent and honest with this, because I think it's really important for entrepreneurs, and particularly in that female landscape, that a lot of working for yourself and being an entrepreneur is really glamorized, particularly on social media, as we know. And I'm always very dubious of those people who, nothing against it, but when the hair's done and the makeup's on and the computer and the coffee and it's tidy, if you could see what my desk looks like right now if I unblurred this background. So, the realities, I think, of, sort of Instagram versus reality of what being a founder really is, and what an entrepreneur really is, and the work that goes into it, I think are quite different. And I think it's really good to be very transparent about that. But I really fell into, although I always said I was made to be run a startup in my own business, I really fell into it by accident. I always knew I would do my own business. I just never really knew what it was. And through a series of events, I sort of fell into it. But I, went through my own real journey where every pillar of life cataclysmically came down, from, death of my father, divorce. I was married 3 months, miscarriage. I mean, you name it. My job was made redundant at the time. I mean, it all happened, but it really led me to a place to really, I think, fundamentally understand myself, and also understand what I wanted out of life and what I wanted to do with that. And I think it really led me to a place where I really learned that I really wanted to give back, and that everything I'd learned, particularly from that female landscape, I wanted to give back. And ultimately, I never wanted another woman to go through the things that I went through and not have that support network, not have those people that they could go to recommend for experts in various different areas. And so it was really synergistic in a way that through a very bumpy ride, I got led to what is now Fem Foundry. And I was essentially working for a tech startup who were white labeling social media spaces, and they were working with a piece of research which is the largest piece of female research ever done. So a really diverse piece of research. So across 19 countries, 22,000 women age 18 to 65. And being in media for 20 years, you know, people would say all the time, oh, it's a really diverse piece of research, and you'd look at it and it'd be UK and US and white women, and you're like, this is not diverse, this is not representative of all women. And it would also generally be probably 18 to either 25 or 35. So apparently after 35 we all fall off a cliff and die. So it used to amuse me. So this piece of research was really groundbreaking, and you know, long story short, led me to now what is Fem Foundry, which we utilize a lot of that research in Fem Foundry. And so yeah, we've been going nearly 3 years through the landscape we're all in right now. So I'm really very proud to have launched Fem Foundry. It is a platform for all women, professional and personal, so not just the leadership elite, although that is a very important part of the platform. And through research and everything that you as women have told us, we focus on 4 key areas, which are financial, physical, mental, and spiritual health. And essentially, we give you access to experts across the globe. So that could be therapists, counsellors, doctors, life coaches, you know, financial help, so on and so forth. And as I say, that is to, you know, really help women everywhere, because we fundamentally believe that every woman has the right to upskill, and have an education is a right, not a privilege. And that's something that I'm very passionate about.
Fantastic, Amy. I can so much relate to you, because as I'm running an online magazines for women, and the dream of getting all women under one umbrella and providing that content in terms of video and articles was the main aim, because I think that media platform is missing, and you have got an app which is much safer, because under that app the communication can be done, the reach out can be done to other experts, and networking can be done, and that too at the global scale. And that sounds amazing. So definitely congratulations for coming up with this fantastic idea of having an app like Fem Foundry. So as an entrepreneur, you have shared your story. We would love to know more about Amy as a person. What are your likes? What are your dislikes?
Sure. I mean, if I tilted my screen, you'd see one of them down there because he's upside down. But so I'm, as I said, I'm from Yorkshire here, and which is the countryside. So although I spent 20 years in London, and if I had makeup on, you'd see a very different person when I was in London, much more glamorous when I wasn't a founder. But I love being outdoors. I love fitness. So I spent, you know, a long time in my life when I was growing up. I had an older brother, but unfortunately he wasn't very good at sport. I mean, that's unfair. He actually was, but he wasn't, you know. And my dad was a professional sportsman in his day. So my dad was like, oh no, I've got a girl and I've got to go and watch lots of girls' sports. But I think from that, you know, that really taught me a lot of resilience, and maybe, you know, obviously who I am today. But yeah, I've always loved being active, and I love being outdoors. I've got 2 dogs that are my furry children, as I call them. And, you know, apart from that, I just, you know, I moved actually, so I'm not in London now. I'm about probably about an hour away from London in a place called Oxfordshire, and so that's, you know, lots of countryside, and lots of fresh air and space. So that's really important to me, and it really helps me with my mental health as well. And obviously being a founder, that's really important.
Awesome to know. I'm sure your hobby must be helping you a lot in managing your startup. And then, because we as an entrepreneur need so much mental strength, right? That resilience power, which you as mentioned, that it comes with that sports spirit. And when you are working upon your health, upon your fitness every day, it really helps you to be confident and run your venture in much better way. So, Amy, as an entrepreneur, can you share what you think are the 3 most important habits which can help any women entrepreneur?
Yeah, I love this question because I get this question a lot, and I think it's really personal for starters. I think I don't think there's a blanket habit as such that you can just apply. I think for me, in terms of what you've just said about mental strength and resilience and really watching your own mental well-being and physical well-being is the number one habit that I think I had to learn the hard way, because I am a workhorse, and as many founders are, they will just continue to go and go and go and go. And a lot of people kept giving me that advice but you've got to take care of yourself, and you have to take time for yourself, and you have to put those parameters in yourself, because you're not working for someone else, and no one does that for you. You don't have set breaks or time, so there is that tendency to just keep going. So I'd say the number one habit is that looking after yourself and really planning your time to take time for yourself and sort of really force yourself to have those breaks. And I say that, and I'm still not very good at it, so I can give the advice. Whether I'm good at taking it myself is not it is another thing. And I think the second bit of advice I would really give is to, as a founder, really, I mean, it's not a habit as such, but really surround yourself. And it was an odd one, because although I was creating a global support network of women myself, and that's my entire business premise, I actually wasn't creating my own support network of founders. And now I have, and it's really sort of game changing for you mentally as well as a founder, because it's very lonely. So unless you have that support network and those people that really fundamentally understand your day to day, because being a founder, not many people do understand it, and not your friends and family aren't going to understand it and really resonate with those highs and lows that we can go through in the space of 2 hours, never mind a day or a week. So I think surrounding yourself and having that support network is really important, of those women or men or people that fundamentally understand what you're doing and why you're doing, and can really keep you going and get you back on track.
Fantastic tips, Amy. I must say that. Now, I would love to ask something related to the sales part of the business. As a women entrepreneur, many women entrepreneurs are facing challenges, because sales is something which women entrepreneurs are not comfortable if they have not done before. Can you give some advice, some tip which has helped you in your work?
Yeah, I think sales tips, again, it's a really tough one, because it's you can't apply one tip to sort of any I mean, you could, but it'd be difficult to apply one specific sales tip to any business. But firstly, like you said, I think very generalistically, a lot of women, if they haven't done sales before and then they're starting a business, and I've seen this, I think if I apply it to my own sort of journey, I go to a lot of pitch nights. I've actually judged a few pitches, which was really which was great to be on the other side of. I was like, oh, phew, I'm on the other side now. But I was so on the side of the founder, I'm not sure I was the best judge, because I was there going, come on. But I think I've seen it in the, particularly in some of the health tech pitches I've seen, you get a lot of incredibly intellectual and intelligent women pitching, who are perhaps have been doctors, or that sort of other really academic side, and they've never done sales. So then when they're coming to pitch a business, it's very uncomfortable for them. And I think the number one thing that I've learned, and it's slightly different, I guess, for me, because I've come from a sales background. I've been 20 years in sales and presenting. But I think even I would say that, and people say it to me, is just be yourself. People buy people. And that is the number one thing. And humility, and without saying a swear word, particularly in this day and audience, people can really sniff out the BS, and they know when it's not genuine. They know it when it's not coming from a genuine place. So I think be authentic, have some humanity and humility, sorry, and that's the tired founder burnout brain coming out, and be yourself. I think that'd be the three real things that I can give you. You can learn to pitch, you can learn to sell, all of that you can learn. You can't learn to be yourself. That has to be authentic and come from only you.
Very valuable, Sharami. Authenticity is the key in present times because many people are changing themselves just to go with the rat race. And if that happens, then you are losing the key, why you have started your venture. So once we are comfortable with what we are, and then we are doing the sales part, with practice, I think things get better and we get the hold on the sales part also.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, if you just have conviction for what you're doing, I've done it myself, and as founders will know, you get so much feedback. And when I was, I guess, a greener founder, I still am, obviously only 3 years in, but I went round like a chicken in circles, taking the feedback and changing it. And then I sort of didn't know where I was and had to take a step back and say, no, okay, take some of the feedback that I think is valid, implement that, but then, go back to, ultimately it has to come from you and it has to feel like it's coming from you. Otherwise, what's the point as well? And it's not going to come across as genuine.
Very true. Now we'll love to get the focus on Fem Foundry again. Can you share how Fem Foundry is standing out in the crowd of so many apps, so many networking platforms? Can you share some insights about it?
Yeah, sure, of course. So I think really Fem Foundry is it's sort of a myriad of all of those things. As we said earlier, as you were saying, my real passion and mission is to get all of these resources and women under one unified roof. Because ultimately, if we're all I'm hazarding a wild guess, we're all going for equality here, aren't we? And equity, and we all want this to fundamentally change for women across a myriad of very complex and different things. But unless we all learn to start playing together and really coming together, we're never going to change that. We're all going to be dead, and it's going to take a very, very, very long time. And I've seen it in media where particularly, women are pitted against each other in lots of different industries, in finance, in legal, and it's not the way. And so we really want to change that. And I think that's a real USP to Fem Foundry. But I also think, as I mentioned earlier, I think that having a platform that is affordable and accessible, but also relatable, is our real USP, because there are so many networking platforms, and a lot of them are very niche. They're in finance or legal, or there's a lot of platforms out there for women that are just about leadership, which 100% have their place, but we don't all want to be a leader. We don't all want to lead. It's not in everybody that they want to be a leader or they want to be a businesswoman. Some people want to do a myriad of different things, and business or leadership is a tiny part of it, or not. And I think a lot of networking places, particularly in the UK and the US, the membership fees alone are so expensive. They only help to sort of perpetuate the differences and inequalities that we already face as women. And as women, we already face so many, different barriers that, for me, cost of entry absolutely shouldn't be one of those, especially on a global level. And as I said, I'm passionate about education. I'm passionate that any woman should have the right to upskill themselves, and affordability should not be a barrier to that. So we come in at a completely different end of the market, and I think we're the first platform to do that, to come in really, really cost effectively and affordably to deliver all of the things that we're going to deliver, from, like I said, delivering those experts to you, but also, and you mentioned it as well, from a networking opportunities. Networking and opportunity alone tends to be quite elitist in a lot of ways. And again, those networking clubs charge a lot of money for you to be able to network with those people that you need to get to get that job or get that contract or whatever. So again, we're putting hurdles in our way. So I want to remove those and get all of those women, particularly in leadership, but also those experts, and remove those barriers so that you're getting access to experts, but you're also getting access to opportunity to those people, whether they're leaders, experts, or just normal everyday people that, you know, might have gone through something that you've gone through, and you might just want to have a chat with them and, you know, make a friend on the other side of the world.
Fantastic. It sounds really unique, and it can help so many women entrepreneurs and professionals around there who are looking for such platform in such a way where they can just log in and they can reach out to anybody who is an expert and sitting somewhere across the geography. It sounds so powerful, Amy, to me. So, Amy, you are workaholic. You are totally into your work right now. Can you share your secrets, how you're managing your energy? What are your productivity hacks? Secret.
Well, yeah, she says looking very tired. Again, it goes back to, so I actually do a lot of mindfulness as well, and I really try to meditate. Now, I'm not very good at it, so I'm going to put that out there, but when I do it, it does really help me. But another thing that's really helped me is a thing called tapping, which is quite well known, but some people might not know. We actually did a tapping masterclass in the app, so if anyone wants to find out, you can go in the app and there's a great tapping class in there, and that really helps for anxiety, or, you know, and just to sort of really calm you down, really center you, and a myriad of other things as well. Again, I'm not an expert, which is why we get the experts in the platform to talk about it, but that has really helped. So there's a number of different things, but it also goes back to you know, spending time outside. I spend time, you know, with my dogs. Really helps me. A new thing that I've started doing is every time I went, so I go on probably 2 or 3 dog walks a day, because it just helps take me away from my desk, center me. But I always used to take my phone, and what was ending up happening was that I was working on the dog walk. So the time where I was supposed to be having time out, I was like, ringing people. So I've started leaving my phone at home, which feels like I've lost a limb at first, but now I'm getting used to it, and I'm like, actually, this is much better. So just getting into little habits like that, or just put your phone away from you. Because if I'm not in front of my computer, we're all attached to our phones, right? We can work from anywhere. So lock it away for an hour, just, you know, be away from it, and it does really help.
Makes sense, because phone is something which everybody is getting addicted with every passing day. So if we are leaving it on the desk, I think we are shutting it off. So that's a very important tip you have shared, Amy. Any aha moment you want to share with us? Some aha moment where you were just out of word and you want to share with the world?
I don't know if there's particularly one. I think I've had, you know, several over the sort of the last 3 years, and they tend to come at 3-4 in the morning when you're trying to sleep. I think the aha moments are sometimes where you get, as founders and leaders and entrepreneurs, we get so ensconced in our own business and our own decks, and, you know, and it's so, you're so in it that sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees. And I think the aha moments are sometimes when you do step back, like you say, you do just leave that phone, or you have a week or 2 where you're just like, oh, I can't do it, it's not working, and then all of a sudden you just leave it for a day or 2, just put it down, put it to the side, and then that's where you get your biggest aha moments, and you get that clarity. And sometimes it's really looking at, do you know what, that just doesn't work, and so I need to change that, and having, again, the humility and leave your ego at the door. That's the biggest advice. I don't know if it's an aha moment, but I thought I'd got to that place in life where I'd left my ego, and it turns out there's still, you know, everyone's got an ego, haven't they? And you have to leave your ego sometimes, and that's probably the best aha moment, because that's when you're going to get real clarity.
Thanks for sharing that, Amy. My last question, please share some message with Womenlines audience.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest message to all of you out there is, if you love something and you're passionate about it, just keep going, there's always a way. And sometimes businesses work and they don't work, but you will always learn something, and that learning is really, really fundamental. So I listened to a podcast last night, and I'll just finish on this, but it's the Diary of a CEO, as I'm sure millions of you already listened to, but it was with a lady called Trini London here, which people in the UK will know, and yeah, okay, so
I'm a big fan, yeah.
Okay, so and I'd never really heard her speak that much, and he asked her, why did you keep going? And she said, I won't say what she said because it was a swear word, but she said, because I knew it was brilliant, and I knew it was going to work, and I just knew it in my core. And she got turned away, I think, from initial pitches 48 or 49 times she went through, and she said not one of them. She said one bit, but it wasn't, and they were all telling me no. And largely it was men. We're not anti-men, but by the way, at all. But as we female founders know, when you're pitching to men, sometimes if particularly it's a female business and a female lens, it's obviously it's hard to understand when you don't wear makeup yourself, potentially, or whatever that product is. And she got turned away a myriad of times, and he said, what made you keep going? She said, because I knew fundamentally in my core that women needed this, and I knew it was brilliant. And she now runs a something 300 billion pound company.
Thanks for sharing that.
I think that was a good one. Yeah, I've stolen her advice, but yeah, I think it's so quite
inspirational, because we just, whenever the challenges come and we get down, and it's very difficult to get up again. So such examples really gives us motivation and inspiration. Thank you so much, Amy, for sharing wonderful insights with us. I wish you all the best with Fem Foundry. Friends, do check out Fem Foundry app, and you can learn a lot from that app, and you can be part of that family and network across the globe and upskill also yourself. I wish you all the best, Amy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tori. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.